Scary stuff. Orthodox religion is a problem throughout Eastern Europe. Another problem is this, material wealth. Let's see if this little video will play. There's music here. I really like the music. In most of Western Europe, the real problem was wealth. And the problem isn't the wealth. The problem is that the people are distracted. And it works a little bit like this in the States as well, but maybe not quite as badly. But in Europe, people are they're very much involved in just making money and just getting the stuff of life. Just getting things around them, getting the car, getting the house. And in some ways, I think of America as being quite materialistic, which is bad, to be materialistic in that sense. I think a lot of Europeans are more materialistic. They have a bigger problem with that, a bigger issue with that. It causes them just this distraction. I think it's another ploy of Satan to keep people away from the truth. Maybe the biggest problem, from God's perspective, there's not enough new churches being started in Europe. Europeans aren't starting them. And furthermore, not enough new workers means there's not enough new European young people coming up through the ranks of churches, because the churches don't exist. So they're not going out and starting churches. And because Europe is doing so well, people don't send missionaries to Europe as much. Right? So it's just fewer workers, fewer missionaries, fewer new pastors, fewer young workers. Okay? And this problem is persisting. It's getting better, slightly better in some places, and we hope that it's going to continue to improve, but it's not good. Not enough new workers, not enough new missionaries from the United States. This is actually a guy that was born in Kyrgyzstan. He was born in Kyrgyzstan. He's a Russian German. Well, he's Russian German. He now works with us in Russia. This guy's African. This is an African evangelistic team working in Germany on the street. Think about that. There's not enough new workers. So even churches in Africa, where it used to be that was the missions place, wasn't it? Africa is where we sent missionaries, right? But do you know that now a lot of these countries in Africa have something like, it depends on the country, but many countries have 40, 50, 60% of the people who are believing Christians. Huge church attendance. 50% go to church of some kind. Now, we may not be happy with the churches they're going to. We may have different opinions about that. But they're going to church. These are believers in Jesus. And they're sending missionaries to Europe, where the original missionaries went out from. Think about that for a second. Because Europe, they realize, doesn't have very many Christians. Right? The other thing that is happening is the Kontaktmission is sending missionaries and sending workers. And that's why we want you to be involved. We want you to be happy and excited about what Kontaktmission is doing. This is a group of people, all new workers with Kontaktmission in Europe that are on the stage here being introduced. There are the flags of some of the countries where we work. This was where the event that I was at where I lost my voice last week. There's an old guy over there on the end, on the bottom, that's me. All these young people, most of these are European young people. There's some people who are not quite so young, in their 30s and things like that. These are new missionaries who are being trained and being sent out by Kontaktmission. And all these people have in their hearts, in their minds somewhere, to be missionaries. Now, we don't know how they're going to wind up. Some of these people are already committed to a certain place, Hungary or Germany or Austria or wherever. Others don't know yet, but there are people who are excited. And Kontaktmission is involved in this process of raising up young people and raising up people to get involved in missions. So it's kind of an exciting thing. This was we call it a mission crash course, or more commonly we call it the crash weekend, because we crash. Okay. This guy is John Gaynor. I saw a prayer request for him laying out on your table out here. John Gaynor and his wife, Jenny, and their 3 boys, who are all 4 years old and under, maybe the oldest one's 5 now, are going to Ukraine. They bought their plane tickets yesterday to go. They're going to be going here in just a couple of months in September. Right now they're going to go to language school and learn Russian all summer long intensively. They're not allowed to speak English except to each other for the next 3 or 4 months. So that'll be exciting. So these are some of our workers. This is what we're involved in. Kontaktmission lives by this. This is our motto: send, plant, multiply. Send means send missionaries. Plant means plant churches. And multiply means make them multiply. So those churches will send out more missionaries, more new workers. Those churches starting churches, churches sending missionaries into other countries even. This is our DNA, if you will. This is what we live by, what we want to do at all times. And we believe that this plant you see there is in the center. To plant churches, to make churches available for people to go to make churches who are living as bright witnesses in communities. That's what we're about. So thank you for being a part of that. Here's what it's going to take to change Europe again. Now, Europe has been evangelized, probably wrongly, right? But what it's going to take to change Europe is consistent, continued energy being given. It's not enough to have a good motto and have a good plan, but we need to invest energy and effort into doing this. And we tend to be a little complacent, don't we, about things like Europe is far away. It's all those cloudy faces I showed in that one picture. We don't know those people. We got problems here. But we know, the Contact Mission is committed to this knowledge. We know we got to keep the gas, keep the pedal to the metal, keep the gas on, and keep going forward. Keep applying this effort in these areas. I want to thank you again at this point. This is kind of, maybe you can tell the presentation is ending here. I'm going to start rolling over into this other part. But I want to thank you for coming over to Europe with us. And I really believe that by you helping us, by you standing behind us, by you supporting us, you participate. You've come over to Europe with us. And that is greatly appreciated. We really appreciate your partnership. We really appreciate the financial support, the prayers, the support of those who have communicated with us, Tanya and Cleona especially. Thank you so much for staying in touch with us. It is greatly appreciated. And you keep on keeping on as far as that goes. And stay in touch, because we need each other to meet this need. When I was in college, at Manhattan Christian College up here in Kansas, I was in a music group. In that music group, I played piano and keyboards and things like that, a little guitar. We did this song called Run to the Battle by a man named Steve Camp. We're talking 25, 26 years ago, I think, when we did this. And this was the opening line of this song. This is one of the songs we did most. Some people want to live within the sound of chapel bells, but I want to run a mission about a yard from the gates of hell. Based on what I've just said about Europe, I'm amazed to continue to find myself in these lines of the song. I run a mission, I feel like, about a yard from the gates of hell. It's a position I found myself in 25 years after singing this song and humming it along. I can still play it on the guitar. Just a song, right? Is that something that you're interested in doing? Are you interested in living your entire life within the sound of chapel bells where it's safe? Or are you interested in being involved in ministry that is difficult? Going where it's not easy? Going where hell is beating down the doors of people's lives? And I want to thank you again, and I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to be involved more, to care more about this kind of thing, to make your life more about beating down the gates of hell, which will not prevail against the church, the Bible says, and less about being close to chapel bells. That's my challenge to you this morning. Hopefully this next part will encourage you a little bit as well. It says less than 4%. You don't read the mathematic E's over there. Less than 4% of the black section there is less than 4% evangelical Christian. Evangelical means, in this case, basically Bible-believing Christians. Little free churches, little small churches. That 4% is actually a very high number. Germany is a really good example, for example, of a country where there's a lot going on. It's at 2.4%, some say 2.9%. A lot of the countries have something like 0.8% is a very common figure, 0.4% is a very common figure, 0.3%, 0.3%. There's not very many. We're talking about a handful of churches in a country. Lithuania, for example. We know who those churches are. We know all of them. We met with the leaders up there.